Hey there, good morning. The time is 10:14 on your Sunday, the 14th of December. I'm meteorologist Alexis Clemens, and we're just talking about the snow that is continuing to fall. I'll break down kind of what happened with the forecast, what we're seeing right now. And truthfully, one of the reasons we really want to get on and talk to you all is to see what you're seeing outside. Send us pictures, reports of the snow. We really appreciate it. It looks like it's just a beautiful scene out there. However, we have had some issues on the roads, and low visibility has been a problem all morning long. So that's what we're watching for you here. Let's go ahead and pull up our radar right now. So you can see snow continues to fall across the state. We're trying to dry out in the Salisbury region. So there in the northwest corner, looks like maybe just a couple of flurries there. It looks like accumulations are definitely done in that area, but snow continues to fall. We've seen some of the higher reports come from like the shoreline area there. So I'll go ahead and show you just some of the reports that we've seen thus far. And this is as of 9 o'clock this morning, just what I have seen, but please send in your reports as well. As of 9 a.m., it was about 3 inches in West Haven, 2.5 in Branford, a little over 2 inches in Shelton, right around 2 inches in New Preston, and a little over 1 inch in Vernon. I'm going to go ahead and see if we've gotten any other of those reports in so far. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I have seen. I'm also looking at just what people have sent me. I think it was at about 7 a.m., 2.3 inches in Norwalk. Oh, wow. We got a report about 4 inches in Bridgeport. There we go. Yeah, we were expecting a higher total at the shoreline there, about 4 inches in Bridgeport. Thank you for sending that in. Yeah, it looks like at about 7 a.m., 2.3 inches in Norwalk. About 1.7 inches in Seymour. Again, that was at about 7 o'clock this morning. Have not been outside in West Hartford just yet. We've been on air all morning long, but I'll get there. I'll have to get all dressed up with the boots and all of that jazz. But I would assume here in West Hartford, we have about an inch, maybe 2, but that's before I have even gone out. I'm trying to see if I can find any more of these snow reports for you. I'm not seeing anything just yet, so please continue to send those in. Looks like about 1.25 inches in Ellington. Thank you very much for that as well. We always appreciate it. Let me see if I can find any more snow totals for us across the state. Again, I hope you're enjoying the snow. We have, again, seen some really slick roads. I was driving in at about 3 o'clock this morning, just from Hartford to West Hartford, and it wasn't terrible, but snow was just starting up at that point, and we've definitely gotten reports that's very slick out there. The visibility, I think, has been the biggest thing. We've seen some really low visibility, less than about a half a mile in parts of the region, including New Haven. Okay, it looks like we're starting to get some more reports in here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that. This has been a big system across the country, a little Alberta clipper that produced a good amount of snow for a lot of areas here. Okay, so some reports, we're starting to get some in now, so we definitely appreciate that. Continue to send those to us. Looks like now it's up to 3.3 inches in Branford, so I'll make that change in our little list there. So about 3.3 inches in Branford. That looks to be the highest across the state at the moment. Looks like we're now up to 2 inches in New Milford, 3 inches in Shelton, and over in West Haven still. West Haven, that was as of about 9 a.m., so still haven't gotten an update from West Haven. Oh wow, this one is a new one. Rybrook, Connecticut, really close to the New York border there in Fairfield County. 4.6 inches. This is even a little bit further towards New York City than Stamford is. 4.6 inches reported there. So that would be the highest that I've seen so far. Looks like 2 inches in westerly Rhode Island. So in that area, the Pawcatuck area, likely about 2 inches there. Let's see what else that we are seeing here. I wish I could show. I'll update that list for us here very soon. But 1.3 inches in the Berlin area of Connecticut, 1.8 in Norfolk. I'm not entirely sure again how to pronounce it. Everybody has a different way. 1.2 inches in Staffordville this morning. Still 1.9 in New Preston. Again, that was at 9 o'clock this morning. 3 inches in Beacon Falls. Great. Thank you so much for sending that in as well. We really appreciate it. So again, I'll continue to update us with those totals. I'm going to go back to our radar though, as I go ahead and pull this up for us. So first of all, actually, let me start with winter weather alerts. We have a winter weather advisory for all of the southern counties of Connecticut. This goes actually until 1 p.m. today. I think snow will wrap up by then, but until 1 p.m. today because they were expecting those higher totals, and it looks like that forecast is panning out for us. But zooming out, quite a bit of warnings and watches across the region. I want to point out New Jersey and the Philadelphia area under a winter storm warning. They actually kind of got the brunt of this system, the highest of the totals, and I can go ahead and give you some of those that we are getting from that area. It looks like upwards of 6 to maybe even 8 inches around the Philadelphia area. That's what I'm seeing so far. So really interesting there. And this includes a lot of Jersey as well. Looks like the Jersey Shore even got about 5 inches, some of those areas there. So really an interesting system. New York City. Let's go ahead and zoom in on, I'm sorry, you guys can't see this. I'm just looking at some totals across the region. At Newark Airport, 2.5 inches as of 7 o'clock this morning. We'll continue to see those reports roll on in. Let's see if we have any more. About 4 inches in Bridgeport, 4 inches in Cheshire. We appreciate that so much. This is an interesting snow system just because it's a little bit more of a fluffy snow. Still pretty compactable though, what I've noticed from this morning. So that's good for kids who want to make some snowmen or some snowballs or anything like that. Enjoy this Sunday. But especially with that wind going to be picking up here soon, it can blow the snow around a little bit. So as you're taking reports, I would encourage you, I know it's already cold enough out there, but go around your yard with your ruler and do a couple of measurements and just get the average. Because sometimes with snow drifts and the wind like that, it can make some areas appear a little bit taller. Snow drifts aren't the most accurate when it comes to those reports there. So let me go ahead and go back to our radar because we are still seeing that snow across the state. Looks like, again, the northwest corner is starting to dry out. And zooming out, you can just see this system just continuing to move across the region there. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. And it looks like that rain stayed away. So it's really just snow, and it stretched all the way down to Virginia, this system here. What happened was, and I can explain it to you. Let's see if I can draw a little bit on here. My drawing skills are not the best, so please forgive me. But what we had going on here, let's see if I can. All right. So what we had here, right here is kind of where this system formed. And that's what we call an Alberta Clipper. It forms over the Alberta province of Canada. And what it does, it forms a very narrow path of snow. I mean, it really moves very, very narrowly. So it kind of did that kind of thing. And it usually drops a couple of inches of snow. They're usually very easy to forecast. The only issues when it comes to like the Midwest, and I have a lot of experience of forecasting these being from the Midwest. The only thing that's hard to forecast about these is the very narrow track. If it shifts just a little bit, that would impact totals in certain areas. But what happened here in the Northeast is that Alberta Clipper moved across the region, and then it kind of turned into a little coastal storm. So that's why it kind of moved up the East Coast from like the Washington, D.C., the Virginia, North Carolina area, and then upwards here. So go ahead and zoom back in. on this system. So very interesting there. So stretching from, Boston all the way down to the Norfolk, Virginia area there. So very interesting system here. Let's see if we have any more reports. If you guys have any reports, please send them our way. You can also email us. It's Shareit, SHAREIT at NBCConnecticut.com. We've also gotten some really great photos as well. So send us all of that stuff. Send us pictures of you guys enjoying the snow as well. We really appreciate that. And we love to show those on our air as well and share them on our social media. And I can even show a little one that we just got in a little bit ago. This one is Minnie the cat in Cheshire enjoying the snow from inside. That is what I plan to do a little bit later on as that scene loads for us here. It's getting there. It's getting there. Somebody says scenic snowfall, not too much in Middletown. Roads are slick. Definitely roads are slick. We've gotten a lot of slick road reports in Middletown. But there's Minnie the cat enjoying the snow from inside. That's the way to do it, Minnie. But if you are going to be outside, just make sure you bundle up. And one thing I was saying several times on air this morning is because those winds are going to be picking up behind this system and really cooling things down as we go into tonight, I would encourage you to get outside this afternoon as the snow ends and clear off your cars and do the shoveling then. You definitely don't want to do it tomorrow morning when that wind chill is going to be below zero. We got a question, when might it stop? Great question. Let's answer that for you. So I'll go ahead and grab the radar once again as it loads on in here. But we've got that snow. It's falling all across the state. It looks like it's starting to dry out in the northwestern part of the state right now up in Litchfield County. Maybe just a couple of flurries lingering there. But this is a current look at our radar. Snow has been with us for the last several hours. It's a pretty light snow out there. We've had a few bands of some more moderate snow. But we're starting to see some of that drier air come into place here as we go in the northwestern part of the state. The snow is definitely lingering around a little bit longer than we expected. It moved in a little bit later than we expected as well. So I do expect us to slowly dry out as we go towards like the noon 1 o'clock hour. And let's see if our model does a good job of showing that for you here. So here's the snow that's happening right now, our future radar. So by about 11 a.m., we start to see more of us drying out. By noon, really more like areas along and to the west of 91 are drying out here. So I would say most of us by noon are drying out. So within the next about hour and a half now. If you're in the eastern part of the state, it might be closer to about 1 o'clock. And you might also see a couple of lingering flurries maybe up until about 2 or so, but I would say accumulations are going to stop by like, let's say noon in Hartford and New Haven and Middletown over towards like Norwich, Groton, Killingly. It's probably going to be a little bit closer to about 1 o'clock when those accumulations stop there. So expect road issues through that hour. You know, the crews are doing a fantastic job doing their best with clearing the roads, but there's only so much they can do when the snow is still falling. So we're still going to expect issues through the afternoon. If you have any errands to run, I would just hold off a little bit longer until crews can get out there. But just know that wind is going to be picking up here as well. Continue to send us your reports. We really, really appreciate that there. I do want to talk a little bit about the wind and the wind chill. It's not fun, but we've got to talk about it because it's gonna be rough out there. Let me go ahead and find that graphic for you. That wind is actually on the calmer side right now, but it's only going to pick up from here. In fact, by the lunch hour, really after. And actually, the wind is an interesting element here. It's a northwest wind, and it's bringing in a lot of dry air. So the wind was calm this morning. That's why visibility was so low. As it picks up, moves that moisture out of here. So it's going to dry us out. Actually, visibility will improve through the afternoon. Snow will move on out of here because drier air comes into place, but it's going to drop that wind chill quite a bit. We're talking winds potentially up to about 30, maybe even 35 miles an hour tonight, which is tough on a regular day. But when you factor in the wind chill, it's just going to be brutal. I mean, your feels like temperature today. This is just a graphic. I'm not a fan of it one bit. We're seeing the teens is what it's going to feel like as we go through the afternoon, the single digits by this evening. And that's not a typo. I do expect that wind chill to drop below zero as we go into tomorrow morning. So this is why I know I know what I want to do when I'm going home after this is get my pajamas on and watch some football. But I also know that before I really get comfy, I'm going to have to clean off the car, do some shoveling out there, because I definitely don't want to do that tomorrow morning when the wind chill is going to be at -5 degrees out there. Somebody said summer can't come soon enough. I would agree. And it's not even winter yet. We still have one more week until the first official day of winter. That's 1 week from today. But I will tell you, the 40s later on this week might feel a little bit like a heat wave, right? We'll probably have a lot of melting by then. What happened to the light and fluffy forecast? That's also a great question there. So light and fluffy snow is an interesting phenomenon, really, when you think about it, because it's dry snow where it doesn't want to compact to each other. And that is really what fell across much of the region there. It was a little more wet closer to the shoreline where temperatures were a little warmer. But I think what's happening is some of that melting is occurring. So while it is those dry flakes, some of that melting is compacting those snowflakes together. So that would be my guess. Of course, I don't have eyes all across the state to know exactly what's happening in your region. So that's why your reports are very, very helpful for us. We very much appreciate that. But I would be mindful of anything that is melting. I don't think there's much of it happening, but if there is any melting, anything is going to flash freeze tonight, because we're dropping to about 10 degrees tonight. And that, of course, doesn't include that wind chill that you see on your screen there below zero. And I want to go ahead and also just show those wind chills all across the state for tonight, because after this snow, the big story here is going to be that really chilly air moving into the region. At least it doesn't last that long, but it is going to be very, very cold out there. Take a look at that. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, it's going to be feeling like -9 degrees in Colebrook. That would be the chilliest air of the season thus far. Potentially -1 is what it feels like in Hartford tomorrow morning. -2 in Chester, -3 even in Groton, 1 degree in Bridgeport, -6 in Torrington, -5 in Stafford. Very, very chilly as we go through tomorrow morning. So just be very mindful of that. Limit time outside tomorrow morning, because it's going to be chilly as it is, a low of about 10 degrees, but that wind gusting up to 30, 35 miles an hour in these conditions, that is just really, really tough out there. Again, we really appreciate your reports. We really, really do. If you can send those to us, we greatly appreciate it. I want to see if I missed any reports out there that we got, because again, you can email us, SHAREIT, SHAREIT @NBCConnecticut.com. I look at all of those emails, and I love what you guys send. Like I said, Minnie the cat watching. Minnie the cat was watching the snow and watching us on air, and we got both of those pictures. It was great. So thank you again to Gary and Joy in Cheshire for sending us that. We really appreciate it. So I'm just checking our email to see if we got any other reports from us. Doesn't look like it yet, but please send them to us. We really appreciate it. And any pictures are helpful as well. We love to show those on air. If you have any videos of the snow, whatever it might be, as much coverage as we can across the state, we would love to get it. All right, so we talked about the cold, and the feels like temperature through tomorrow is going to likely stay in the teens and maybe near 20 as we go through the day tomorrow, but that wind will be gusting up to about 30, 35 miles an hour as we go through your Monday. This is like deja vu. It feels like the last 3 Mondays have been just extraordinarily cold, right? I mean, we saw like a low of 4 or 5 degrees over the last couple of Mondays, and 10, it felt like a heat wave, right? But that wind chill just gonna make it unbearable. Now, if you want a heat wave, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the forecast a little bit. If you missed this morning's weather, because we've got an interesting setup right now. In the 30s on Tuesday, more sunshine. We're starting to get warmer. Calmer winds will be much appreciated on Tuesday. The 40s on Wednesday. That's kind of a heat wave right there. And we're actually going to be monitoring a rain chance, just rain, as we go into Thursday night and into Friday. Friday, you see on your screen there, 50 degrees. Again, that's also not a typo. It is going to be about 50 degrees early in the day on Friday as that rain moves on in. And then once the rain is out of here by about midday Friday, it looks like temperatures then will start to fall. So we're back in the 30s on Saturday, but it does look like the 40s are here as we go towards next Sunday, a week from today, the first day of winter. I also want to point out, I didn't get a chance to show this on air today just because, of course, things were so busy with the snow. We find this graphic for us here. But we are now, 11 days from Christmas? Today's the first day of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to all who celebrate. But the precipitation outlook as we go towards the next 10 days or so, starting to maybe favor some above average precipitation for us. That could mean maybe more of an active weather pattern as we go into maybe the week of Christmas. Still way too far out to really take a look at the forecast here, but we're going to keep an eye on that. I will go ahead and show you our 10-day forecast just because we've got you here and we appreciate all of your views. And all of your reports. We're very, very appreciative of that. But right now, of course, we know the forecast changes, especially several days out. But the 10-day forecast takes us right up and right just before Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Next weekend's going to be a big travel weekend. I know I'm going home to see my family, and I'm very excited to see them there on the first day of winter. But a couple of rain chances that we're going to be watching. The one Thursday night and Friday. Then potentially another one on Sunday. It is weird talking about rain after such a cold start to December that we've seen thus far for the first half of the month. But maybe a couple of rain chances there Thursday night into Friday and potentially Sunday and maybe even next Tuesday as well. So that could be more of an active weather pattern ahead of Christmas. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Of course, I feel like the question that a lot of people ask is it going to be a white Christmas? Well, if temperatures continue to be on the warmer side, especially with all the melting we're going to see later this week, I'm not too optimistic about it. Very light in Danielson, 1 or 2 inches. That's about it. That's another report that we've gotten. Thank you for that. Yeah, we were expecting kind of that lower, those lower totals up there. We were originally talking about kind of a light, fluffier snow, and it did become a bit heavy at times. It was still a drier snow. Maybe we should have been a little bit more clear about that. It was a drier, fluffier snow, but it did come down a little heavy at times, and of course, that's leading to a lot of accumulations at the surface. Might be compacting a little bit more just because it's trying to melt the surface itself. Maybe was a little bit warmer. But yeah, we're still monitoring that snow through this morning. And of course, this is the first statewide snow of the season. I know ski resorts here, the ski areas here in Connecticut are enjoying this here, but that snow is definitely lingering a little bit longer than we had originally anticipated. It moved in a little bit later than we had anticipated as well. So we're going to continue to track this through the next couple of hours. I do want to go ahead and zoom out on our radar though. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. Philadelphia got quite a bit of snow. Actually, they kind of got hit the hardest with this system, over 6 inches of snow for some of them there. But I want to point out it's snowing a little bit in Boston, Foxborough. Big game happening there, the Pats and the Bills. I know what I'm doing after the show, watching or after work here today. I'm going to be watching that game, and I do want to go ahead and show you that forecast there because I know a lot of people that are likely heading to the game right now, and just know that roads are a little bit on the rough side right now. So just give yourself plenty of extra time to get to where you're going. Watch those around you. Give yourself plenty of extra space around you as well. Snow on the way to the game. Might even be a little bit of snow during the beginning of the game as well, since now the snow is lingering here. So nice little game, snow game there for the Bills and the Pats. So that'll be really exciting. By the time you're heading home, though, it should be all gone. Just make sure, of course, you're staying safe. And of course, that wind picking up and things are cooling down. Report says it's still coming down in Watertown. Yeah, definitely looks like that's what's happening here on our radar. Go ahead and pull that back up again. Again, still starting to dry out in the northwestern part of the state, but everybody else still seeing that snow coming on down. I can see from our windows here in West Hartford, it's pretty light here at the station. We're on the line of West Hartford and Farmington. But still coming down and still even at a more moderate pace for some areas here. And again, I want to show our list for some of the areas that snow reports that we have seen thus far. I'm going to see if we've gotten any updates, and I can update. I know West Haven, I think it was Branford, that's up to 3.5 3 inches. Let me see if we've gotten any more updates on that. As I zoom in, we have a great website with the National Weather Service that's keeping us updated. Oh, 3.5 in Ridgefield, that they're in Fairfield County, Ridgefield, Connecticut, 3.5 inches. And it also looks like now we're up to 5.1 inches in Rybrook, Connecticut. That is near Greenwich there. So that would be the highest of the time of the reports so far. So right now, and I can even update that here on our thing for us. So it looks like 5.1 inches. Again, it's going to take a second to update on your end here, but of course, send us your reports. Share it, SHAREIT at NBCConnecticut.com. Let me see if I can just update this map for us here. So 5.1 inches in Rybrook. We're up to 3.5 in Ridgefield. And I'm updating this for us here. But yeah, again, tell us what you're seeing in your area. We very much appreciate it. Always, we love to see what you guys are seeing as well. Send us your photos, whatever is easiest for you. Yeah, it looks like they're up to 3.3 inches in Branford. And I love how I'm just kind of talking to myself here. Just as I'm updating this here, somebody said it's very light and fluffy where they're seeing it. So we appreciate that. It might be a little different depending on where we are in the state. So again, that's why your reports are so important to us, especially in Connecticut, where we've got different climates across the state, in the hills and the inland areas. The shoreline is a little different as well. So we really do appreciate all of your reports. Looks like we're up to 3 inches in Shelton and West Haven. Let's see when those came in. Sorry, again, I'm just updating our total map, and it's going to populate on there in just a second. So looks like West Haven and Shelton at 3 inches. So yeah, 3 in Shelton, and let's see, 2 in New Milford, 2.4 in Weston, 2.5 in North Haven. Good stuff. So let's go ahead and update this. So Shelton and North Haven, I think it's at 2.5. Again, sorry, I'm just typing as I am doing this. Looks like we've got some heavier snow in Colchester. Thanks for sending that report in as well. Any photos that you have, you can comment them, or what's more helpful is messaging emailing us. Share it, SHAREIT at NBCConnecticut.com. And we'll show those pictures on air tonight. We love to do that. Just very important when you do show us those reports there. Still snowing in Simsbury. Thank you very much for that report as well. And Bridgeport is light snow, about 4 inches. Thank you as well. As you send in your reports, just let us know, give us your name so we can give you credit, and where you took that photo in the city that you did. We very much appreciate that as well. All right, let's go ahead and finally update this map for you here, or this list that is. Let's see if it'll populate on in here in just 1 second. And slowly but surely we'll get it in there. Slowly. Let's see. It's like a drum roll. There it is. All right. Rybrook, Connecticut, near Greenwich, at 5.1 inches of snow. Very close to New York City there. 3.5 inches in Ridgefield. 3.3 inches in Branford. 3 inches in Shelton. 2.5 in North Haven. And Jay in Colchester says 2.5 inches there. Great. Almost nothing in Enfield. Dawn, thank you so much for that report as well. That's a huge thing, because if you remember, we were talking about it yesterday. We were afraid that some drier air was going to make its way into the north central part of the state there, especially the northern Connecticut River Valley. So it looks like that dry air prevailed in that area. So again, thank you so much. We really appreciate all of your reports. We wish we could have eyes everywhere. We have our cameras in a lot of areas, but we don't have them everywhere. So that's why it's important to have all of you sending in those reports. Perfect. Great. So that is, you can see, of course, the updated totals. I guess I can change where it says as of 9 a.m. Sunday. It's actually as of about 10:30. So I'll just add as of about 10 a.m. Sunday. And there it is there. So we'll continue to monitor those. And of course, you can send in your reports. This is also while it's still snowing outside. So I'm sure these reports will change for us. And we'll go ahead and put that radar back on. Still snowing for a lot of areas. Looks like it's a lighter snow now for a lot of areas, especially along and to the west of 91. And that snow will continue to slowly come to an end here within the next couple of hours by about noon, 1 o'clock, I think, at the latest for the eastern part of the state. It looks like also, I'm just going to go ahead and let's go ahead and zoom in. Looks like Old Saybrook, Clinton, Guilford coming into Old Saybrook and Lyme. Maybe a heavier, more moderate band of snow moving into that region right now. So Old Saybrook, it's coming up here, probably closer to about 11 o'clock this morning. You'll see that snow pick on up. So that's what we've got so far across the region. We're continuing to track this for you. Of course, send in your reports. We very much appreciate it. We're just trying to keep everybody safe and informed. That's our of course, the number one priority for us here. So we'll continue to track the snow as it continues through the midday hours. By this afternoon, we will be drying out across the state. Chief Meteorologist Ryan Hanrahan is in later on today. We have Connecticut news, NBC Connecticut news at about 6 o'clock to where we were. There we go. Still learning how to work this, guys. We're doing great. Thank you guys again for joining us today. We very much appreciate it. We'll have Chief Meteorologist Ryan Hanrahan in at about for the 6 o'clock news later on today, 6 and 11. And again, keep sending in those reports, those pictures, those videos you send us to share it at nbcconnecticut.com. Might make it onto air, which is always exciting. You can also, of course, message us through Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching us right now. We appreciate those reports. Any pictures and videos we appreciate as well. So yeah, we'll go ahead and end this now. We've been on live for about 30 minutes. Again, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Stay safe, stay warm as we go into tomorrow morning, and we'll continue to keep you updated as we go through the day. Thanks, guys.